Welcome to a movie every day with Sean Smithson, where garbage and gold meet. Every 24 hours Mr. Smithson scrapes the bottom of the exploitation movie barrel or reaches for the top shelf of art house cinema. You have been warned. Today's feature is White Line Fever.
When the righteous, but unfortunately named good old boy Carol Joe Hummer, played by the awesome Jan Michael Vincent, returns from Vietnam to his hometown of Tucson, Arizona, and finds the trucking company he's driving for, Red River, is hauling, now don't be shocked, this is kind of heavy, illegal cigarettes and slot machines. He refuses to be part of their corrupt business practices. What would his dead daddy, Sam, an old trucker himself, have said? He'd have said, hell nah, and that's exactly what Carol Joe Hummer says too, much to the chagrin of old family friend Dwayne, played by the legendary Slim Pickens, who is being compromised. Before you can say, hee-haw, old Carol Joe is being harassed by the goons from Red River, as well as local law enforcement, and they don't cotton to losing their piece of the pie. After Carol Joe winds up handcuffed to his own rig, a 1974 Ford WT-9000 with a Cummins turbo diesel engine named the Blue Mule by a crooked cop and beaten by Red River's thugs, one of them being almost was action hero Martin Cove, he returns to the office of Red River, shotgun in hand, and gives Fat Dwayne a piece of his mind. Come to find out, Dwayne is just a pawn in a rigged game, masterminded by L.Q. Jones, who plays Buck, the reprehensible big fish, who now has Carol Joe on his radar. This is surely going to throw a monkey wrench into things and mess up his quality time with his new wife, Jerry, played by Kay Lenz. Carol Joe doesn't help the situation when he attempts to organize other local truckers to stand against the 16-wheeler bullies, and soon his wife is beaten and raped in an assault that leaves her unable to bear children, and his old family friend, Pops, the only black trucker in town, winds up dead. Finding out Red River is owned by the carpetbagger corporation The Glass House, whose giant glass sign sits mockingly outside their corporate headquarters, Carol Joe grabs his trusty shotgun, jumps in the Blue Mule, and hits high gear on a path to revenge. Directed by Jonathan Kaplan, who had recently helmed the black exploitation epic Truck Turner, Peter Gruber at Columbia Pictures hired him for White Line Fever, what he thought would be Kaplan's next trucker movie. The joke was on Gruber, though, because Truck Turner ain't about trucks, yo! But Gruber placed up-and-comer Jan Michael Vincent, then being groomed to be a big, big star, into the lead role, and allowed Kaplan to make his homage to other two-fisted directors like Sam Peckinpah. Kaplan has stated since that, quote, politically, I was trying to counteract the right-wing vigilantism of the pictures that were around at the time. Which is weird because even though Carol Joe Hummer was on the right side of the law, he sure as hell didn't have a badge. When White Line Fever first came out in 1975, I was an 8-year-old movie geek, saw it probably around 10 times during its run at the old Senator Theater in Chico, California, which is now a concert hall. And I later became a huge fan of another Kaplan movie called Over the Edge, the one about out-of-control teenagers in a prefab suburban community, which also introduced the world to a young actor named Matt Dillon. Kaplan also directed Mr. Billion, another favorite of mine from when I was a kid, with Italian action star Terence Hill and once again Slim Pickens, and a decade later, Project X, the movie where chimps are being trained to be jet fighters by the military-industrial complex, and after that, The Accused with Jodie Foster, for which she won an Academy Award for Best Actress in 1989. White Line Fever was also written by Kaplan and Ken Friedman, who also scripted Mr. Billion and two other Kaplan joints, the well-respected female car racer flick Heart Like a Wheel, and the TV movie murder mystery 11th Victim, starring Bess Armstrong. Who? I said Bess Armstrong! She was in Jaws 3D, High Road to China, duh! To further explore Friedman's screenwriting skills, also check out Cadillac Man and Johnny Handsome. As for Jan Michael Vincent, well, after this, and movies like Baby Blue Marine, the surfer epic classic Big Wednesday, and the vigilante actioner called, wait for it, Vigilante, Mr. Vincent kinda developed a little problemo with blocaine and alcohol. But that didn't stop him from being an airwolf and hanging out with Ernest Borgnine in a high-tech war helicopter from 1984 to 1987. One thing strikes me today as far as White Line Fever, it would be a hell of a remake. And I'm not usually a proponent of redoing already badass movies, but with a name like Carol Joe Hummer and an updating to something like him being an Iraqi war vet and making the contraband something like crank, tweak, dog, otherwise known as methamphetamine, that shit would write itself, man. I'd like to end also by giving credit where credit is due as far as the vicious thugs in White Line Fever. They may rape his wife, they may kill his friends, they may burn his house down, but not once did they make fun of his name. Check out White Line Fever, which is available on DVD for about $6 or $7 from Mill Creek Entertainment. If I ain't sold you yet, check out the trailer attached to this episode of A Movie Every Day. Once again, I'm Sean Smithson, elitist cinemasochist, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Carol Joe is back. Jerry waited 2 long years. Now it's time to make a life for themselves.
Long years to call out your name.
He's an honest trucker who won't make deals.
I mean, I don't haul that stuff I don't drive, huh?
That's right. Just keep your mouth shut and do as you're told.
But it gets tougher for both of them.
I'm pregnant, Carol Joe. And I've been thinking I wish I weren't.
They force him to fight back, their way.
My name's Carol Joe Hummer. I come to get work.
And next time you just might not be so lucky.
Get!
But he won't quit,
Get up!
no matter what.
You're about to walk off a cliff, boy.
He's only gonna get you dead, man.
They got the muscle. They own the law.
You're under arrest for the murder of Dwayne Haller.
They terrify his wife.
Take the deal and let's get the hell away from here.
He's a working man who's had enough.
Deputy Dog, you know who this is. You call him and tell him I'm coming here.
Ride with Carol Joe on a trip you'll never forget.